Hi, I'm Garth Rowan. Welcome to Why We Say, exploring interesting words, idioms, and phrases and their origins. Today it's quarantine and both epidemics, pan and epi. But first quarantine, because it has way the most interesting background. It comes from the old Italian dialect from the north of Italy in the Middle Ages, around the Venice area, and it means 40 days. The dialect word was quarantena, so you can see the connection there. So why 40 days for a quarantine? Why not 30? Why not 50? Interesting story. Why Venice? It's because Venice was the epicenter of trade at that time. It was the first of the international banking centers. It had this huge navy which dominated world trade. It was well located there on the Adriatic side of Italy. It could bring in trading goods from Africa, from Asia, from the Middle East, and then distribute them around Europe. It was kind of like the Amazon of its time. They made a fortune. If you ever watch Game of Thrones, you'll know the city of Braavos. And the city of Braavos was based on Venice in the Middle Ages, with its iron bank and all the trade that it did. Very influential people. Venice was a city-state, which meant that it was a city, but it was actually an independent country. It didn't become part of Italy until 1866. So all that time back in the 1300s, 1400s, it had all this huge trading power, and it used it very well. Now, what happens when a trading nation like Venice becomes stuck in the plague? So in the 1300s, there was the Black Plague, killed a third of the population of Europe and almost as many in Asia as well. Devastating. So you get all these ships coming in. You don't want to bring them onto the islands of Venice, so you leave them on the islands offshore. And somebody by that stage had figured out that the time between catching the plague and dying was generally 37 days. So you add on another 3 days for those who can't count too well, and voila, you've got your quarantine period, quarantena. And that's why we say quarantine. Now, what about the epidemics? Epidemic, Greek word, it's epi means above, around, common to the demos, people. Pandemic is all the people, so they're all sick. That's why we say quarantine, pandemic, epidemic. If you had fun today, please hit the buttons down there, like and subscribe. Take care. Till the next time.